vibes. I could be violently wrong, but it's a guess. It's a prediction.
Literally all it is just vibes. That's so fair. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we're going to take a look for the first time at a Josh REVELL video. I said I was dropped this yesterday, dropping it today. We're going to take a look at his Formula 1 predictions for 2022. Not sure whether that means the Drivers' Championship or the Constructors' Championship, maybe a little bit of both. But I wanted to get his opinions and sort of gauge a true F1 fan's reactions to what is going on really for F1 in 2022. Obviously, the whole big changes with Haas, the Haas team in general, but realistically, I just wanted to see what he thought, just so maybe I could formulate my own. I don't really have any good predictions for 2022, so mine are going to be a little outlandish when we finally do make that video. But obviously, let me know what you guys think or what you guys are predicting down in the comments below. But let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video down in the description below on this channel. Definitely go give it a look.
So, because the media surrounding Formula 1 has been hell-bent on dividing the people lately, I figured we needed something that was going to bring us all back together. Something that we can all have civil conversation over. Something which can bring out our love for the sport rather than our hate for it. Because that's all we hear about nowadays. It's not fun anymore. Only conflict. Fans against fans. Fans against pundits. Pundits against fans. Fans against drivers. Drivers against fans. I mean, come on, people. Let's raise a smile every now and again. And with the new season ahead of us, putting out some predictions for the year would be fun, yeah? It's an ego trip for us F1 YouTubers to pretend that we're geniuses or something whenever we haphazardly get something right.
I don't think I'm a genius at all.
So without further ado, let's have a look at the stuff and see what I think will happen in the year 2022. First off, I want to declare the champions for Formula 3, Formula 2, and for Formula 1.
See, yeah, I don't even know what to do.
For Formula 3, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and also guess by his current form, for the champion to be Ollie Behrman of Prema. This young kid has got some gusto and a heap of talent to go with it. And while his teammate Arthur Leclerc is speedy as all hell, he does have a love-hate relationship with the checkered flag. In Formula 2, the title will go to the next Alain Prost, Formula 1 bound, very French-sounding name kid called Théo Pourchaire. Yeah, this kid does have enough money to buy all of San Marino, but he does have the goods. Monaco last year proved it, and he's been touted as a shoo-in for the Alfa Romeo Formula 1 seat for 2023. By the way, speaking of Formula 1, this year's champion, well, it's this guy.
Charles Leclerc is champion of the world!
He really thinks Charles Leclerc is going to win?
No, I'm not on drugs. That comes later. And I do realize the notion that Charles becoming the champion this year is a bit of a fad, but for the record,
I was gonna say, the Ferrari car in general, do we feel like it's up to snuff to go out there and actually get the title? I feel like a him versus Lando battle would be so sick, or him versus Max.
well, Sammy and I predicted that shit first. At least I think we did. So why do I think that Charles Leclerc will be the champion this year? Well, in the main, it's down to the wagon that Ferrari have delivered this year. If there's ever a season that they're going to be ready for a title shot, it's this one. They've put a lot of focus into this year. And yet, despite the Italian tendency to blow up everything they ever invent, they'd shown progress last year after their disastrous 2020 campaign. When it comes to Charles himself, he's shown enough times that he has speed, led down only by some of his lap 1 shenanigans. But being in a good car can help prevent Charles from running into Pierre Gasly and instead waltz off into the distance. And while this prediction was made before the preseason testing, shakedown, since unveiling their car, which more belongs in the Louvre than a racetrack, it's clear as day that Ferrari have a better car than in previous years in terms of both power and nailing the regulations. How much better is a complete unknown, but I reckon that this will be the wagon that will take the Prince of Monaco to his first world title. As for his teammate Carlos Sainz, there will be no such title, but he certainly will challenge Charles for it, and in the process, will take his first Grand Prix victory this year as well. In qualifying trim, Charles was king of the hill at Ferrari, but while Leclerc was mastering up new and better ways of ruining his races, Carlos always made the best of his own. He achieved 4 podiums in 2021 against Charles's 1, and was more than a match in race trim even when both were at even odds. Sainz definitely has what it takes to win a race, which is why this prediction...
So he's saying the Ferrari team outright is going to run F1 this year. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
It's a bit of a no-brainer. But what I'm about to say next is going to have a lot of people hurling a bucket of shit my way. But just remember, this isn't what I want to happen, it's just what I think is going to happen. And I could be wrong, but in any case, here goes. Lewis Hamilton will be beaten by George Russell. And I know how that's going to sound to a lot of you, but let me ask you this. Did we really think that Daniel Ricciardo would beat Sebastian Vettel the way that he did when he entered Red Bull back in 2014 after Seb just completely wiped the floor with everyone in 2013? Why it happened is not important. The thing is that it did happen. And in the sport, anything can happen. And this year, I'm predicting that the greatest driver of his era is going to get dunked by a Jude Law clone.
I
What
don't
gives?
think so.
Well, honestly,
I
part of the
don't
reason
think
is that
so.
Lewis will now have a teammate who knows how to overtake, thus probably will pester him a little bit more. As fast as Valtteri is over one lap, he couldn't defend an oil company with a paid jury, and while it was a one-off outing, George had proven himself in the Sakhir Grand Prix back in 2020. Nitpick all you want regarding that performance, and yes, that move was overrated, but it was still a fantastic performance given everything. And besides, this whole prediction is just vibes. I could be violently wrong, but it's a guess. It's a prediction.
Literally all it is just vibes. That's so fair. I just don't see that happening. I think Lewis has good years ahead of him still. I don't think this year Russell will take over. I think he'll show it, but there's no way.
No, that's it. It's the vibe. I rest my case.
It doesn't mean I think Lewis is going to drown this year. I mean, for instance, he's going to maintain his winning record this year, carrying on the streak of winning a race in every season of Formula 1 he's ever competed in. And George won't just run away. No, not from this guy. Just remember who this guy is. And with the young pretender coming in,
but
my
you
guessing
think
is
he's
that there
gonna be
will be friction
overtaken
between the
entirely.
two.
There's
A
no
little
way.
bit like what we saw with Fernando and with Brittany. Again, it's all vibes. But while we'd all love to see Sir Lewis win title number 8, I just can't see him winning it this year. Nor for Max Verstappen. Now, I'm not going to talk about that race because that's just asking for trouble and everyone's made their minds up about it, and in general, it's just a waste of fucking energy. Max did walk away the champion. It won't happen this year though. In fact, this year is going to be more tricky for him and for Red Bull in the main. All the time and effort spent toward the title challenge last year is going to come back to haunt Red Bull. Although knowing some of the shit Horner and Marco say, I don't know if anything haunts them anymore. Red Bull have a snazzy looking side pod this year and it does look a decent car. And it's so damn good to see the number 1 back on the champion's car. But Red Bull will not be at the forefront and will be lucky to scrape in a win or two. This also means some bad things for Checo, who, if this year don't go too well for him, could be on the chopping block. And I think he will be. And I think if he does get the chop, he'll retire from Formula 1. I don't really have any favourites in the sport, but you can't not support Checo. Even so, Baku may well have been the last time we see Checo on the top step of the podium. Please excuse me while I go cry in the...
What? The hate for Red Bull here might be a little
But hey, let's
excessive.
get hung up on that, for there will be a driver who will step onto the top step of the podium and become a Grand Prix winner once again.
You think Vettel
Sir
will?
Lancelot Stroll.
Oh,
I know he ain't won in Formula 1 yet, but the New
okay,
Zealand
okay,
Grand Prix
okay.
from 2015 technically does count as a Grand Prix victory. In Formula 1, this will be Lance's year, just like it was last year. This time for real though, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. This will just be a prediction every year until he actually wins. Although it would be hard to predict where Aston will phase into this year's championship given their car was about as inconsistent as its drivers last year. And this year might not be too different. All very harsh words, but not all Grand Prix are won by pure pace. Sometimes you get wacko races, like the one won last year by Esteban Ocon. And in that melee, Lance will find a way. Also Seb. Yeah, I reckon Seb will return to the top step of the podium as well. To summarise, big things predicted for Aston. I mean, I'd hope so, just to make up for Lawrence's speech at the car launch, which, thanks to him, felt more like a funeral.
And these cars exemplify that we are the world's only independent, ultra-luxury car group.
I know it seems like I'm just throwing shit out there at the moment, but this is a different year for the sport. There'll be shakeups, including over at Williams, who will take a big stride forward. I see them in the hunt for points for every round this year, by at least one of its drivers, so long as no bad luck befalls them. And when all the stars align, I could see Albon getting a P4, maybe a P3 if a wacky race were to occur. Meanwhile, over at AlphaTauri, I'm not predicting a hell of a lot of things other than Gazzo continuing to do his thing, making the most of what he has and scoring the odd free podium, while teammate Yuki Tsunoda will finally make good on the hype and start delivering results. Will this be good enough to escape the venomous wrath of Darth Marco? Well, that remains to be seen, seeing as how Red Bull have like 11 million juniors in their ranks, and Marco trading his seats like a damn football coaching job. Maybe Yuki will have to remain on his toes. Just a recommendation from a dude who doesn't know about driving a Formula 1 car. But while this is all sunshine and rainbows for the aforementioned teams, there are two that I'm predicting are gonna drown this year. The first of those teams being Alpine. Plan ain't gonna take a liking to that, but with so many teams moving up and down the grid, I mean, someone's gonna have to bite the dust, right? And Nando's barbecue during testing, shakedown, didn't do diddly to quell fears that maybe Fernando was in for another year of torment. I just can't see them replicating their 2021 glories, even if they were a little bit haphazard. And I can't see that either for McLaren.
Really?
Yeah, I know they look decent in preseason testing. you know what, it, I'm just gonna call it that. Because that's what it was, and an exclusive broadcasting contract with Bahrain is not gonna change that for us. Point is, however, is that testing can only tell you so much. Relying on those times is a red herring. And with McLaren this year, that's gonna be a bit more extreme. I don't know where these guys are gonna be, but I don't think they're gonna challenge for wins. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Again, it's the vibe. The other team to get hit by a stack of bricks this year will be Alfa Romeo. I'm guessing they're gonna drown badly this year, and I'm not gonna put it down to the drivers Bottas and Zhou. The team as a whole seems to be going backwards, not forwards, in recent years, and I just don't reckon it's gonna change course anytime soon. I think this bunch are in for the wooden spoon this
is a
year.
gorgeous car,
Haas
though.
are gonna pull themselves out of the mud and grab some points with Mick Schumacher. Anyway,
I don't think
moving
so.
on. Looking ahead to 2023, I am going to take a stab at some driver moves. Joe will move to Williams, replacing Albon or Latifi, whoever the hell it is, because that Alfa Romeo seat of his will be handed to Teo Porcher. The riding...
Yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Some of those, guys, I think McLaren are gonna be the surprise. Obviously, Ferrari are I mean, I think this guy has said that he's a big Ferrari fan in the first place, so obviously he wants Charles Leclerc, he wants Ferrari to perform well. I think Mercedes are going to win the Constructors' title again. I think George Wallace and Lewis Hamilton, I think both are going to finish in the top 5. I think Lewis is going to win again. I think this season is his return with a vengeance. Max Verstappen's not going anywhere either. I could see Charles Leclerc getting 3rd at best. At best. And then I could also see the McLaren team jumping into that mix. But I think, hear me out, I think it'll be Lewis 1, Mercedes 1, Red Bull 2, I think Ferrari at 3, and then I see McLaren at 4. But obviously, we're going to do that in the full predictions video, and I'll go in depth as to why, because, I mean, my opinions are invalid, really, when it comes to F1 predictions, but I just want to have them out there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and peace.